The Kerr Sunglasses Company is very chill when it comes to managing workplace stress and burnout in their company. In fact, they've created this initiative that I think you're gonna really like, so stick around. I'll talk about the details of this initiative that they call Chill is the New Busy.
Let's energize your workplace. Mike's here for some serious fun.
So what does Chill is the New Busy look like at Kerr Sunglasses Company? Well, they believe language matters there, that how you frame things matters. Well, they're a sunglass company. Of course how you frame things matters. Duh. But they believe that it's important to set the tone so that people don't get stressed out. So they send the message that chill is the new busy. We're not going to reward busy. We're going to reward chill. We don't expect you to work more than 40 hours a week. In fact, we don't want you to work more than 40 hours a week. We expect you to have a life outside of work. We want you to stay healthy. We want you to stay sane. We want you to stay positive so you can show up at work and do your best work. So chill is the new busy. Now, to make sure these aren't just words, chill is the new busy, they have a weekly overwhelm status meeting where everyone shares, both in their personal life and work life, how they're doing on an overwhelm spectrum. So if you are green, if you wave the green flag, that means all systems go. Hey, I'm good, I'm chill. A yellow flag means I might need a little bit of support. I'm struggling in a couple of areas. Let's talk about it. Red flag means I'm overwhelmed. SOS, I need help. We need to talk about this. Now, here's what I find fascinating is they've actually done a little research and they've determined that when employees speak up and say they're in the red zone, in other words, they're overwhelmed, SOS, I need help, they've identified that it typically comes down to one of three factors. 20% of the time, overwhelm status relates to communication issues. Employees haven't spoken up about deadlines being unrealistic, or they haven't simply said, no, I just can't take this on right now. Second factor, another about 20% of the time, it's just due to efficiency, not being efficient enough and falling into that overwhelmed red zone. And the third factor, and this is the most important ones in my book that I think we need to talk about way more at work, 60% of the time they identified it's due to what they call hustling for self-worth, where people feel like they have to be busy, they have to look busy, they have to be busy in order to earn their self-worth, in order to be viewed by their peers, by their bosses, that they're successful at their job. And we all fall into that trap from time to time, don't we? In fact, we brag about how busy we are to one another at oh, you think you're busy? Oh, I'm way busy. You should see how busy I am. Oh, man, you're busy. Don't get me started on how busy I am. Well, of course, that's going to contribute to a culture of burnout and stress, which ultimately leads to poor performance and a whole host of issues. So that truly is an issue that you and your teams and your workplace needs to openly talk about in an honest way. Are too many people hustling for their self-worth? So could you use a concept like this, chill is the new busy, to prevent burnout in your workplace? I'd love to hear your strategies for preventing burnout. Leave a question, leave a comment in the comments below. And as always, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please hit the subscribe button. It only takes a second. Join our growing community as we talk about inspiring workplaces that